Hello and welcome to today's episode of Bellariosa Cooking with Injuries. I'm Bellariosa and this channel is all about me sharing some tips and tricks that I've learned over 10 plus years of having some chronic injuries. So if that's something that seems of interest to you, of how can I cook when I've got all these different injuries that are stopping me from doing it the normal way, subscribe, join along, come along for the journey, and I will share a whole lot of stuff that I've learned that made it easier for me. So what today's one is about is I might have had enough energy some days to be able to go and plan what I was going to eat for the week and go to the shops, buy all these beautiful, fresh, healthy vegetables that I could cook up into a lot of different meals. I'd get home and then tired. That had used all my energy up. I now had a flare up from one of my multiple injuries, and that was it. There was no cooking with those vegetables. They had to go into the fridge, and I ordered takeaway. That meant that I ended up getting to this really bad habit of ordering a lot of takeaway, and my fresh vegetables, they in the fridge would wilt. So I then got to the next stage of just only buying the fresh vegetables when I was actually going to cook them and use them that day. And then the next thing is you're going, okay, it's been a bad day. Pain has flared up. For breakfast, maybe I was able to have some oats and there was some milk in the fridge. For lunch, maybe there was some bread and able to have a sandwich. So, oats, maybe I had some fruit in there, no vegetables. The sandwich, maybe, I'm Australian, so we're talking Vegemite sandwich here. But yet again, no vegetables. Or maybe I was able to have a cup of noodles. Yet again, no vegetables. So I would get to the point that I would look at my day and dinner time and go, I haven't eaten a vegetable. And there is so much research out there that for the body to be able to heal, it needs vegetables. So sometimes I'd even order takeaway just so I could have the vegetables delivered to me. And that's where this omelette comes into play. I always had frozen spinach in the freezer. There'd be some frozen spinach in the freezer. So I worked out the ratios of how to do some frozen spinach, eggs, and cheese. So the omelette we're going to make, it's equivalent to 30 grams of cheese per 2 eggs and 1 cube of the frozen spinach. Today, because I'm going to have it just for myself, I'm feeling a bit peckish. It's going to be 3 eggs, 45 grams of cheese, a pinch of salt and pepper, and about 1.5 cubes of spinach. So let's get into this. And here we're ready to make them. So this cube of frozen spinach was about 17 grams, and I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to do it on a low heat because all I'm doing, and this one was about 10 grams. So the amount of spinach is approximately about 10 grams per egg. So, or 1 cube. But if the spinach you buy isn't in cubes, all I'm doing here is just trying to defrost the spinach because I did not pre-plan that I was going to do it. So it's not cooking it, it's just warming it through I've got it on a low heat. You might be able to see that in the camera, but it's a very low heat. And as I said, all I'm trying to do is get that defrosted. Now, if I was going to be making this for a lot of people, I'd be using this sort of a pan here where it's got 2 handles. The reason for that is I can then split the weight between my 2 arms. As I had some shoulder injuries as well, injured from head to toe, then it's too hard for me to grab it from just one side. For a smaller pot here, one side is totally fine. but I definitely, for larger ones, converted to the one with handles on both sides. Made it, if I had to pick up the pan at all. And with an omelette, you do have to pick up the pan just a little bit. And just floating. So while that is just sort of slowly warming through, I'm going to beat my eggs, but I'm going to sort of skip a lot of this because it's boring just to watch it heating through. Okay, so it's been about a minute or so, and as you can see, it is already pretty close to defrosted. All I'm trying to do is get it defrosted. I'm not wanting to cook it. So what I'm going to do, as it's starting to bubble, I'm actually going to take it off the heat. And now you've got two ways with, I'm going to turn that off so I don't burn my hand. You have two options here. You can either pour the eggs directly into it, or you can pour this into the eggs to be able to mix it all through. This time I'm going to pour it into the eggs just because it's a little bit easier. So it's been poured into the eggs. We're just going to beat them through. Add the cheese. Add a pinch of pepper. Add a pinch of salt. See, really not adding much salt for just 3 eggs. We're going to mix that all in. So we'll turn the stove back on. And I'm going to turn the stove to a medium low heat. Pour all this back in. All that yummy goodness. So the cheese that I use is a combination of Parmesan, Colby and mozzarella. It's a 3 cheese that is shredded. I just like the combination of those 3 cheeses. It's a bit milder, not as sharp, but obviously go for the cheese that you like. So with making an omelette, we'll just let that sit there for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to go around the sides. Okay, so it's been about a minute that it's been on, and all I'm going to do is go around the sides because you can see it's starting to cook. So first time, go the whole way around the side, and then you just kind of twirl it to go underneath. So that's cooked, and we pull it back, let the omelette go underneath. Well, the uncooked egg go underneath. This way you don't get an overcooked portion of the eggs. Because I don't know about you, but when eggs are cooked a little bit too much, I find them. So this is why I say if I was cooking it for a lot of people, I'd want the 2 handles, because of the picking up. And as you can see, I'm actually not picking up the pan, I'm actually just using the stove top to balance it. Well, this side of the pan is cooking a lot quicker than the other side. Just keep doing that same process of moving the runny yolk out from the middle until it's a little bit more firm. Then what I'm going to do here, because we've got only a little bit in the middle and this side's cooking really well, I'm just going to flip it over. And we can see we've got a little bit that's just running out. That's good. This side was cooking really well and I just didn't want it overcooked. That's why I flipped it. And also I like to slightly, so as soon as this gets to the point that it's looking not runny, that's when I'm going to pull it off. So we've had that side have a bit of a cook. Oh, it's not quite ready for a flip. So now, depending on how coordinated I'm feeling, I might actually flip it and fold it in half again. Or I could have done a full flip. And then now I'm going to flip it over. Kind of now bringing it into looking like it's a nicer shape. The thing I find with eggs is it's best that as soon as you can see that it's basically cooked, it's best to pull it off, because if you wait until it is fully solid, the extra heat is going to finish cooking it and making it rubbery. But if we can see all the egg white is cooked, and as you know, sometimes we eat runny yolk. So from here, yeah, that is looking really cooked. I'm going to do one last flip just to double check. Oh, look at that. That is cooked through. Turn that off the heat. Have a plate. And we're just going to plate this up. Okay, so we've got our thing. Let's cut into it. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that just look amazing? And let's eat some. It was a good meal. This came together faster than I could have chosen what I wanted as takeaway. All made from stuff that has a long shelf life. Frozen spinach in the freezer, eggs, long shelf life, especially if you put them in the fridge, and some cheese. So, oh, and salt and pepper for flavouring. If you want to add some other flavours to it, maybe you're a chili person, you want to put some chilies in it, go for your life. And I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.